Assalamu alaikum to my Muslims, brothers, sisters, Gambians, friends, people of all race, color. I greet you in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I take this moment to address the people, to pay tribute to the victims of 9/11, as today marks the 13th anniversary of the tragic events that unfolded in 2001. That attack was an attack to the whole of humanity, because not only were we all struck and hijacked by our religion, Islam, and for those who are not in Islam, the World Trade Center represented almost every country in this universe, and for that I pay tribute to the victims, to the heroes we've lost, and I salute the soldiers that continue to fight this war against terror. And for those Sunnis, Islamists, extremists that keep on hijacking our religion, our beautiful religion called Islam, I call on all Muslims and all people of humanity to denounce violence wherever it may be, what kind of form, it doesn't matter. Physical abuse, domestic violence, you name it. Any type of mental abuse should be denounced. Now, I make this video because I was challenged by my comrade Pasamba Joe to make a video in order to save $40 to donate this to a cause. But I pledged to donate $50, but only and until I am convinced and proven, written on paper, that that money would be used not in favor of violence. These are my values I hold dearly, and it would bother my conscience to know that my money would be going into something that could destabilize a region. And so I am challenging and asking these leaders to show us the transparency that we've been calling for, the accountability, and to show us that this money would not be spent for any violent action. I am willing to support any movement. I have respect for my comrade Alhaji Sow. I applaud you for this initiative. I support you that we do need a big pot to raise funds. But unless and until we are convinced that this money would be done in a peaceful manner, we need to be supporting charity organizations. People like Usman Jallow have been doing a tremendous job in the UK. We need to support NGOs and those that to try to prevent Ebola from spreading in the Gambia. And the Gambians like Mama Linger Sar, Alhaji Salu, the Media House, Freedom, Alhaji Salu have been doing a tremendous job in exposing, and Fatou Kamara in exposing this deadly virus and preventive measures to try to keep Ebola free from Gambia, and I would say the rest of the world, thanks to the IMF and the international community. Now, the challenge is why I am in this struggle. Well, I am in this struggle because it began, I can say for me, that it began Ramadan, when the president had vowed to kill and execute those at death row, and he was going to execute everyone. And I felt like it was going to be a license if I was to keep my mouth shut and watch my fellow Gambians die in vain when I knew I could have done something. I then reached out to the leadership of Coach Pasamba Jau, Sienumbenga, Nasala, and we formed Duga, and this was when we were protesting, and those were one of the most exciting, sad, and that was the moment that I vowed to be in the struggle. Now, why I am fighting? I am fighting because the political, economic, and social, also cultural sectors has been diminished to the point that Gambia is unsustainable right now for us to just sit down and watch it derail. Now, I am fighting in the struggle for a peaceful resolution. I'm fighting because I believe that there is still hope, there's something we can do. But before that, I'm fighting because I want us to change our attitudes. There's a lot missing. A lot of times we focus our attention on one man, when I feel like, yes, there's a lot of things that government should do and should improve on, in terms of corruption, in terms of torture, in terms of negligence, misplaced priority, education. But don't get me wrong, there has been a lot of good that has been done to education. More people are graduating, is on the rise. Agriculture is doing a little bit much better. But I'm changing to change the system. I'm changing and I'm challenging us Gambians to change our attitudes. Don't just wait for your family member to be in trouble. Do it from the start. Go and ask your neighbor, are they okay? If something is wrong, try and fix it. Do not wait for other countries to come and bail us out. We as Gambians have a responsibility and a moral obligation to stand for our rights, demand that the Constitution be respected, and we also have an obligation to make sure that there is term limits, there is freedom of speech, the political prisoners are freed, and we need to create an atmosphere that would be possible or conducive for a dialogue to happen between the president, the opposition parties, and the diaspora groups. I am serious in this cause, and I will not fight until every Gambian is free. People like Imam Baba Lee, people like Fatou Kamara, our women, our children, have been suffering for so long, and it is about time we do something about it. The law is broken. There's bribery on the streets. We also have an obligation to make sure that we don't take, accept, and tolerate bribery. But also to stop this senseless migration of the back way from our youths, that we need to stop, put an end to this madness. Yes, we all want to go to Europe. We all want a better life. But I say let us build it back home and let us make Gambia a better place for all. I am fighting because of, hey, this is what we're fighting for. And it's worth sacrificing for. Progress, peace, and prosperity. I am fighting for a better future for the Gambia. And I feel like there's a lot more we can do. There are young entrepreneurs who have been taxed so high. They're educated, smart, they want to go back home. But there's not enough freedom. The inflation is terrible. The taxes is high, which is driving away business. Gambians live on $1 a day. Those who used to eat 3 times a day would now be eating once a day. Even the rich would be asking for money. So I'm trying to change the system, and I am challenging all Gambians to do something about it, and just don't sit and wait for others to fight your own battle. When I was in Nusret, a teacher called Mr. Ja from Sierra Leone, I believe, he taught me in 10th grade government of, by, and for the people, that definition by Abraham Lincoln. And it is about time we made government of, by, and for the people. Reforms need to be made, reconciliation needs to happen, and the IEC needs to be reformed. I am calling on the opposition leaders to make efforts to make it possible that we can have a better Gambia. I am challenging every Gambian to change their attitudes, stop the insults, debate in a proper manner. Tengen bai ki jolala, ki pulla, ki sarahulela. Let us stop this tribalism that happens in Gambia. I'm sorry that this video took almost 12 minutes, but there's a lot more. That's why I'm fighting. It will never be enough. I could sit here till tomorrow saying why I am fighting. But above all, I am asking us Gambians to look inside our hearts and learn to forgive, to move on, to accept one another for who we are, respect our opinions, and have a vision, a strategy to move forward for the Gambia's sake, so that we could have development. And let us unite. Most important, we need to unite. Keep talking about leverage here, leverage there. We need to unite. We are powerful when we're united together. We stand. Divided, we fall. Okay? So I call on everyone to look in their inner selves and have a strong faith in God. Fear no one, fear God. He is the all-knowing, the almighty, all-merciful, all-powerful. All is possible with Him. With that, I say Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters. And this is my challenge to the Gambian people. And this is why I, Mamadou Njie, am fighting. And I hope you will support the cause of fighting in a peaceful way to restore democracy in the Gambia and fix it. Not add to the damage, but fix it. Do not try to induce violence into the small Gambia, we all know. So I am willing to support this cause unless and until I am shown proof that there's transparency enough that my money would not be funding anything that would destabilize the country we all love. Assalamu alaikum.